What if I told you that everything you've been working for, the late nights, the sacrifices, the grinding through exhaustion, could all be for nothing? Not because you didn't work hard enough, but because you've been running in the completely wrong direction. That thought is terrifying, isn't it? Most people don't realize it until years have passed. Until they've climbed halfway up a mountain, only to find out it was never the right mountain to begin with. Today, I want to tell you the story of two men who both wanted the same thing: success, purpose, greatness. But only one of them actually found it. The difference had nothing to do with talent, nothing to do with effort. Everything to do with one decision made the night before the climb even began. Stay with me until the end. This might be the most important story you hear all year. Daniel and Marcus, both 25, hungry, convinced they were destined for something bigger than the life they were living. This mountain above their village had 3 peaks, and the highest one, the sacred summit, was legendary. People said that anyone who reached it would find true clarity about their life's purpose. Hundreds had tried, most had failed. Some never came back at all. One spring morning, Daniel and Marcus looked at each other and made a pact. Whoever reaches that summit first, Daniel said, will have proven themselves worthy of greatness. Marcus nodded. We start at dawn. That night, the two men prepared in completely different ways, and this is where everything changed. Daniel did what most driven people do. He trained hard, packed light, pulled out the fastest route he could find on an old, faded map. Someone had sold him years back, and told himself the only thing that mattered was speed. The fastest climber wins. That's it. That was his entire strategy. Meanwhile, Marcus walked across the village to the home of an elderly woman named Elena, 75 years old, sharp as a blade, and the only person in the entire village who had ever reached the sacred summit and returned alive. Grandmother Elena, Marcus said quietly, I want to climb the mountain. Can you teach me? Elena studied him for a long moment. Most people who come to me ask how to climb faster, she said. You're asking how to climb at all. That's already wisdom. She reached under her table and pulled out a worn compass and a hand-drawn map, far more detailed, far more accurate than anything Daniel had ever seen. The mountain has many paths, she told him. Some look easy but end in dead ends. Some look hard but lead straight to the summit. The path you choose matters infinitely more than the pace at which you travel it. Marcus sat with her until midnight, asking questions, studying the map, absorbing every word. And by the time he left, he carried something far more valuable than running shoes and a fast route. He carried direction. At dawn, both men stood at the base of the mountain. Daniel was bouncing on his feet, lightweight, full of fire. I'll see you at the top, he shouted, and immediately sprinted up the widest, most obvious-looking path on the mountain. Marcus watched him go, then looked down at Elena's compass, studied the terrain carefully, and chose a narrow, winding trail that looked slower, but according to the map, avoided every dangerous dead end on the mountain. Within an hour, Daniel was so far ahead, he couldn't even see Marcus anymore. He laughed to himself. Too cautious. I'll be at the summit by sunset, and he ran harder. The path felt right, it felt fast, and with every stride, his confidence grew. But here's the thing about confidence without direction. It just gets you lost faster. 6 hours in, Daniel was drenched in sweat, legs burning, heart hammering. He looked up, expecting to see the summit close. Instead, he saw a massive cliff face. Sheer rock, no way forward, no way around. He stopped dead, pulled out his map, stared at it. The map showed this path going straight to the top. But reality told a completely different story. The map was wrong, or outdated, or he'd misread it. Didn't matter which. What mattered was this: 6 hours of climbing, miles of distance. Every ounce of energy he had, all of it pointed in the wrong direction. He stood there in silence, looking back down the mountain. At the ground he'd have to cover all over again, and for the first time in his life, a devastating truth hit Daniel square in the chest. Effort without direction is just exhaustion. He had outworked everyone on that mountain. He had run faster than anyone, and he had run toward absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, Marcus had been moving steadily up his narrow path, checking the compass, reading the terrain, resting when his body needed it. Not racing, navigating. By the time Daniel was making his miserable 3-hour descent back to the base, Marcus was halfway up the mountain, exactly where Elena's map said he should be. When Daniel finally reached the bottom again, broken, both physically and emotionally, he spotted the path Marcus had taken, the one he'd dismissed as too slow, and made a decision. I'll take that path. I'll run it. I can still catch up. And so he started climbing again. But now he was 9 hours behind, his body already running on empty. And his mind was starting to crack. An hour in, he spotted what looked like a shortcut. A steep, rocky scramble off to the side. If I push hard enough, I can make up the time, he thought, so he took it. And halfway up that scramble, his foot slipped. His ankle twisted. Pain exploded up his leg. He collapsed onto the rocks, injured, alone, defeated. He had given everything he had, and his choices had destroyed him. That evening, as the sun dropped behind the peaks, Marcus stepped onto the sacred summit. The temple stood before him, ancient and quiet. Inside, there was no gold, no treasure, just a single inscription carved deep into the stone. The right path walked slowly will always defeat the wrong path run quickly. Marcus sat down on the cold floor, exhausted but full of something Daniel hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. He understood now. It was never about speed. It was never about who worked the hardest. It was about the wisdom to choose correctly. The night before the climb, Elena had told Marcus something he would carry for the rest of his life. She'd said, "Marcus, life will put many paths in front of you. Some will promise quick success, fast money, easy recognition. They'll be wide and attractive, and everyone will be running toward them. Others will look slow, hard, and unglamorous. But here's the truth, the path matters more than the pace." She held up her compass. "This doesn't make you faster. It doesn't make the journey easier, but it shows you true north. And when you know where north is, you stop wasting years running south." Then she'd paused. "Daniel will run. He always does. He believes effort solves everything. But effort pointed in the wrong direction isn't ambition. It's just suffering dressed up to look like hustle." She had given Marcus 3 principles that night. The first, pause before you sprint. Most people choose fast and regret slowly. The wise do the exact opposite. They choose slowly and succeed quickly. Take the time to study the path before you pour your entire life into it. The second, seek guidance from someone who's already made it. Pride tells you to figure it out yourself. Wisdom tells you to learn from people who've already walked the road. Elena's map was worth more than Daniel's speed. And the third, be willing to look slow in order to arrive right. This is the hardest one, because the crowd always runs toward whatever looks fast. That's why most people fail. The few who actually reach the summit are the ones willing to take the path that looks behind it first. Daniel was found the next morning by a search party, huddled on the mountainside, ankles swollen, spirit broken. They carried him down. His ankle healed over weeks, but the damage to something deeper took much longer. For months, he blamed the mountain, blamed the old map, blamed his bad luck. But alone at night, he knew the truth. He had chosen speed over strategy, and it had cost him everything. Then one evening, 6 months later, Daniel walked to Elena's door and knocked quietly. "Grandmother," he said, "I'm ready to listen." Elena looked at him and smiled. Not with pity, but with something closer to pride. "You've already learned the most important lesson," she said. "Knowing that you need to listen is the first choice that matters." A year later, Marcus and Daniel climbed Mount Serenity again. But this time, there was no race. Daniel followed Marcus's pace. He trusted Elena's map. He asked questions instead of assuming. He chose carefully instead of quickly. And this time he reached the summit. Standing at the temple, reading the inscription aloud, Daniel felt Marcus put a hand on his shoulder. "You worked just as hard this time, brother," Marcus said. "But this time, you also worked smart." That's the difference. When they returned to the village, Olena greeted them both. She looked at Daniel and said something he'd never forget. "Effort is the engine, but choice is the steering wheel. Without both, you're just a powerful car driving off a cliff. Here's what I need you to hear right now. Because this story is not about a mountain. It's about your career, your relationship, the goal you've been grinding toward, the dream you're betting your life on. The uncomfortable truth is this: you can work incredibly hard and still fail. Not because you didn't try hard enough, but because you chose the wrong mountain to climb. The world loves to celebrate effort. Work harder, never quit, push through. And yes, effort matters enormously, but effort without direction isn't discipline. It's just exhaustion with good intentions. Before you commit your energy to something, I want you to ask yourself 3 honest questions. First, am I choosing this path because it looks fast, or because it's actually right? The crowd always runs toward what glitters. The wise walk toward what lasts. Instant success almost always means long-term regret. Slow, deliberate progress almost always means something that actually holds. Second, have I learned from someone who's already succeeded here? Your pride says you'll figure it out. Your wisdom says you'll learn from people who've already done it. Find your Elena before you take your first step. Because a good map is worth more than the fastest legs on the mountain. Third, am I willing to look like I'm falling behind in order to arrive at the right place? This is where most people break. Daniel was miles ahead until he wasn't. Trust the process of choosing well, even when everyone around you seems to be sprinting past. Here's what nobody tells you about the people who actually make it. They didn't just work hard. They worked hard in the right direction. They paused to choose. They sought wisdom. They took the path that looked slow, but actually led somewhere real. You have a compass inside you right now. It's called discernment. It's called patience. It's called the courage to ask, is this the right path? Before you ask, how fast can I run? So here is my challenge to you today: look honestly at the path you're on right now. Whatever you're pouring your energy into, ask yourself, is this the right path or just the fast one? And if it's the wrong path, it is not too late to come back down and choose again. Yes, it feels like starting over. Yes, it's humbling. But it is infinitely better to start over on the right path than to spend another year sprinting up the wrong mountain. If this story made you stop and think about your own direction, hit that like button and share it with someone who's working incredibly hard, but might be headed somewhere they don't actually want to go. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do for someone is show them there's a better route. Drop a comment below. What's one thing in your life that feels like running fast in the wrong direction? Let's help each other choose better. I'll be back next week with another story that will change the way you think about success. Until then, remember this: speed impresses people. Direction changes lives. Choose your path like everything depends on it, because it does. The summit is waiting. But first, check your compass.